Good afternoon. I'm by names of Kyakuwa Betty, and I'm here to present integrating statistics and knowledge-based approach to enhance record retention and disposal policy in Uganda's higher education, higher education institutions. And the subtopic is bridging analytics and intellectual for smart records management. The motive of the study is records are authentic evidence of institution actions and decisions that include students' transcript, financial reports, meeting minutes, answer booklets, policy documents, official emails by Tukan 2024. Higher education institutions depend on actual records for governance, compliance, and service delivery. Despite the critical role of records retention and disposal policies, many Ugandan universities rely on manual and fragmented systems, leading to loss, duplication, and poor service delivery. Problem statement: record retention and disposal policy is a formal guideline that specifies how long records are kept, to ensure compliance and accountability. According to Yakadak and Akum Imperial Review 2025, document progress on formal records management policies across African higher education institutions, while noting implementation gap. This relies on poor retrieval and premature disposal, weak compliance with national regulations, low accountability, and this brings in the gap, which brings in inconsistent policy adoption and absence of smart decision tools. So the research objective, the main objective was to examine how statistics and knowledge-based approach enhance adoption and implementation of record retention and disposal policy in Uganda higher education institution, and I researched on how can integrating statistics and knowledge-based approach can improve records governance and compliance. The significance of the study was to develop a conceptual integration of framework linking with analytics and AI, and which guides universities in evidence-based decision-making, promoting institutional accountability and policy compliance, support Uganda's Vision 2040 of digital transformation goals. My conceptual framework was I looked at having a records management policy, which is electronic records management system, which stores data collection and storage. This system can be able to analyze the statistic analysis and the knowledge-based system, including the AI decision systems, automated and compliance. The system will help us to integrate decisions and policy implementation, leading to improved records management and compliance. So the framework components will include electronic records management system, which will enable secure storage of records, including the metadata tags and the audit trace. And then it will have the statistic analysis tools, which will have the SPS and regulation and and it will also have Excel as a package within, which will enable compliance tracking of records. It will also have the knowledge-based system. The knowledge-based system will have the AI, the expert system, which will have the automated classification. It will be able to classify all records, then decision support and compliance alerts. When that time of disposition comes in, it will be able to alert us so that we can take actions in the right manner. So integration creates a continuity feedback loop between the analytics, AI, and policy actions. In the research, I looked at different theory. I looked at theories framework, which were 4 theories that I based on the study. I looked at the knowledge management theory, which uses AI and expert systems to capture institutional knowledge. And then I also used the technology acceptance model, which allows staff willingness to adopt to new tools. In Uganda, we have a problem of staff adopting to new tools. There is resistance always. So using this technology, it will enable us to adopt to the new tools. Then I also used decision theory, which has the data-driven policy choices and the diffusion of innovation, spreading intellectual systems across institutions. Together with all the theories, this will help us to explain how innovation drives better records management. Globally, in the global perspective on records management and disposal in higher institutions of learning, globally high education institutions are increasing, adopting to data-driven and AI support electronic management system, especially in Africa. A country like South Africa is really adopting it. And strongly, the electronic management policy and staff training programs have been embarked on compliance in South Africa. Liberia institutions face challenges due to limited guidelines and technical capacity, while universities in Kenya and Uganda are advancing through digital transformation. Overall, integrating analytics and artificial intelligence is making record system more intellectual, effectively, and compliance. So my research, I used mixed methodology framework, where I targeted 15 higher education institutions, of which 12 were purposively selected for their involvement in the policy formulation and implementation. I used the design. The research went into phases with the design, data collection, analysis, integrity with, and then Design, I used first the design, and its purpose was to integrate statistics and knowledge-based approaches. The key methodology and tools were mixed design, and the outcome was to have a structured multi-method research framework that delivers reliable and evidence-based results. And then the data collections, the methods that I used qualitative and quantitative data for selected institutions. I used questionnaires and interviews using purposive sampling, which gave me reliable and rich data. Then I analyzed using, whereby I examined patterns of all different institutions with different practices using SPS for statistics and thematic analysis. Combined both gave me reliable information. So the integration and validation emerged the findings into a conceptual decision support tool. And I compared analysis and expert validation, giving me a framework of policy evaluation and implementations. So the finding or result presented the adoption rate of records and disposal policy among surveyed institutions. Found that institutions with policies, most of them out of the purposively sampled institutions were 5, and the percentage was 14. And then the institution without a policy was 7, that is 19. And then use of statistical method, 5. No use of statistical method, 7. Use of knowledge-based approaches was 3. So we are not yet there. Most of the institutions, we have not yet adopted the use of knowledge-based approaches. So no use of knowledge approaches was 9. So out of that, it gave me a total. So using the bar chart, the adoption rate of record retention and disposal policy among the surveyed institutions, I used a bar chart that indicates the institution with the policies with 14%, institution without policies, 19. The use of statistical method was 14. No use of statistical method was 19, and the use of knowledge-based approaches. So no use of knowledge-based approach was 25, which was high rank, meaning that we have not yet gotten the adoption of using the knowledge-based approaches. So the discussion and interpretation description survey on record retention and disposal policy in Uganda higher institution, the thematic use was to the policy exit rate, the staff awareness levels, and the finding were to find low policy adoption due to limited staff training. So we lack staff training, so which limits the limited integration of statistics analysis and the use of it. And then the qualitative analysis using SPS, compliance rate, records retention and timeline. Then the statistical tracking and improved compliance monitoring, which limited to focused only on quantitative data, ignored all the quantitative. So the qualitative case study in Uganda institution, the thematic code was used on governance and compliance, which highlighted knowledge gap in policy implementation, which limited the quality adoption level, and limited the generation use of the tools. Then the mixed method study of the electronic records management adoption. The thematic use was usage it was used frequently. User satisfaction was identified. Then the key findings were to integrate the electronic records management system, improve the records accessibility and retention, which limited the technology adoption and did not address the policy alignment. The mixed method integrating statistics and knowledge management base. The thematic use was policy adoption percentage, effectively index, and compliance. Developed a conceptual integration framework linking analytics and AI within the policy. So this limited the sample size of 12 institutions, recommends long-term validation. In conclusion, integrating analytics and AI improves the policy adoption, effectiveness, and compliance, aligning with the ISO 27001 and with the NIST standard, ensures security and consistency. So a data-driven future for Uganda institutions. The recommendation implementation ensures the electronic records management system with analytics and AI models. We need trained staff on policy compliance and digital tools, conduct periodical audit and feedback reviews, strengthen collaboration between IT teams and records manager, benchmarking using global information governance and standards. So the practical application, we need to build a digital repository aligned with Uganda's Vision 2040, use a dashboard for tracking and performance, automate alerts for retention deadlines, promote continuous policy review and digital culture. So together we can build intellectual institutions for accountability governance. I submit. Thank you.